Hey, everybody, and welcome to the UNPC Tour. The stories, the people, the side of town not everyone knows. Around here, we believe Plant City has its character, its history, and its moments. We're just the ones bringing the microphones.
Episode 1, Season 1 of the UNPC Tour. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Anne, one of your hosts, and today you're meeting our full crew behind the mic. We've been working on this for quite some time, but we're just a group of friends that are very passionate about Plant City and have a lot to say about it. And we're starting a platform to connect people to our town. It's all about connecting Plant City to its people. So before we get into all the details of the MPC tour, what it means, why we're here, what you're going to experience this season, I just want to go around the table and let everyone say hello. Cody, do you want to kick us off?
I will gladly kick us off with a hello. I'm Cody. I've been here, I don't know, since 1993, 1994. I own a business in downtown. I don't live in the city limits, but I used to, and now I live in unincorporated Plant City.
I'm Kelsey. I'm from Texas, a little outdoorsy, a little entrepreneurially. I love real estate. That's the business I'm in now. But I worked in Plant City for just under 2 years, and trying to expand my horizons with new things like this podcast.
And last but not least, I'm Phil. I currently work in downtown Plant City and have been for the last almost decade at this point, working at multiple businesses in downtown, and also grew up in Plant City, and happy to be here with these lovely folk.
So a little bit more about, why we're starting this. We want to be able to talk about Plant City, all the things that are happening, either behind the scenes that we hear about, or, things that are more broadcast maybe on some of the Facebook pages. But today we're going to really pull back the curtain and really talk about what we've been working on the last few months. I feel like, we had this concept early this year. We've been really, really trying to lean into the content and understand a little bit more with where we're going with it. So, I think we are very excited about giving a platform to our city because we all love it so much for different reasons, and you'll hear a lot more about that. But that's kind of why we're here. And just to give you guys a little bit more about me, I'm actually a very new Plant City person. I live outside in the Antioch area, so still Plant City, but county land for sure. And moved here only 3 years ago and have just found a really tight-knit community and that I love. And that's sort of why I brought this crew together. So we'll talk a lot more about it.
For sure, yeah, we could talk a lot. I mean, we had a lot to talk about, and we got hopefully multiple seasons to talk about all that, but we can start with now. Like, why now? Like, why are we doing this now? I don't think any of us were like, hey, we're bored. We got a bunch of free time. Let's go start a podcast. At least I didn't feel that way. I don't know about the rest of you guys. But I think we're kind of at a really important time with Plant City, its growth and its timeline. And there's a lot of growth happening, and there's a lot of communities within Plant City that really don't kind of interact or even know about each other. We've got a ton of great people in the city that are doing great things in their community that other people in other communities might not know about. And I think one of our goals is to kind of be the conduit between those two communities and just kind of get these people out there and give them a platform to be known, and kind of bridge that gap between all these great people that fill our city. And there's a lot of local conversation. There's a lot of current events that people don't know about. There's a lot of history people don't know about. There's just I don't want to say a lack of education, but there's a lot like a lack of knowledge. And I think we want to kind of be a place to get that knowledge, for us to be able to spread it, to bring people onto the podcast to spread the knowledge, and to have a place for people to absorb that knowledge and kind of be more involved and more engaged and more educated about Plant City and the awesome people that are Plant City. Like Ann said, we're not trying to connect Plant City to its people. We're trying to connect the people to Plant City. I think I just said that backwards. And that was backwards.
But I think we'll be successful if we do it both ways, you know. And I think like the reason for now is because we keep seeing the word growth and everything, right? It's like we don't want growth, we want growth. It's growing. You know, I think the population now is going to, they're saying by 2030, what, 55,000 people. I grew up in Kissimmee, Florida, right before the growth expansion of what that ended up becoming. And what I will say is, you know, a lot of folks would say it was done sort of wrong. It lost a lot of its history. It became a high crime, very populated area. And I'm, you know, moved here 3 years ago. So for the reason to get away from where I was living in Tampa, which was very oversaturated after the pandemic. And, you know, I think that word growth is sort of what sparked, like, let's start talking about this. And, you know, I also think the rich history is what I'm really excited to learn as we go down this journey.
I can partially relate to that. I've been here a while, but I think the growth, like I mentioned earlier, the growth is the big thing for us. Whether you're new to town and you're part of the growth and you're drawn to the cool things that we have that we don't want to let go of, or you've been here a while and you know, want to understand why are all these people coming to my cool little city? You know, there's a lot of dynamics as we grow. But you know, we'll talk more about the growth. I'm sure we're going to have episodes and maybe guests dedicated to just the growth. But for now, it's, you know, the podcast right now, you know, why are we doing this? Like I think we determined that we don't want to just do a podcast because we're bored, but I think we all have our reasons. And I touched on mine a little bit, but Phil, you know, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Tell us all about you, or tell us why you want to do this.
Yeah. Why did Phil decide, oh, one day we're just going to do a podcast? Well, first off, because Anne asked me to. Secondly, it also just sounded really fun, to be honest, as like a personal kind of thing, as, you know, to kind of like grow myself and push my comfort level, do something a little different. I'm talking to people on a daily basis, so this is just another platform to kind of add to that. And, just like I said, like we've been talking about, trying to be that missing link that Plant City is looking for. I'm happy to be a part of something new, something starting from the ground up, and just happy to be able to interact with all the guests and all the people of Plant City that hopefully this will reach.
Yeah, I definitely piggyback off of that 100%. Being the outsider, I think it's cool getting to learn everything and share it at the same time, right? So like as we're learning things and we're diving into stuff, we also get to share it like timeline wise along the same wavelength, which I think is pretty cool.
Well, and one of the things I'm hoping we all accomplish is just getting a platform and, you know, sort of like a community positive / like, let's talk about the name a little bit, UNPC. You know, I think one of the things that you might recognize with the UNPC Tour is it is a double entendre. We're talking about UNPC as in Unplant City. Some of us are new. There's a lot changing. Everything's feeling a little different. So there's that whole, are we still Plant City as people knew it or not? But then the other side of it is we're hoping to be, you know, a little sassy, a little unpolitically correct. We can bring up the controversial topics and not always agree, because the four of us, you know, don't always agree. We have like debates, we get information. Cody knows everything about town. I'm always like asking him. And I think the whole intent is like, how do we bring more of that type of conversation to life with all of this and share it with our listeners?
Is that why we're doing this virtually, so we don't come to blows in like the same room?
Absolutely.
I had a feeling. I figured you guys just want to beat me up.
This is podcast, not Fight Club.
We don't talk about that other thing, yeah. But I mean, what we are gonna, and we can talk about a little bit too, is like, you know, with this UNPC, this, you know, new to Plant City or not very Plant City or politically incorrect, like, you know, by doing this podcast and calling it this and kind of having this plan, are we, is this kind of a rebellious UNPC type thing, or are we just, you know, are we just kind of putting out this truth that nobody wants to put out there? And I think it's probably going to be a little bit of both. I think we're gonna say some things that people might be thinking, or people might be posting online anonymously, and we are gonna say those things and hopefully give valid reasons to why we're saying these things because they're important. I think we all kind of agree that when we speak, we feel like what we're speaking on is important. But maybe that makes us a little rebellious too. I mean, are we just out here causing problems on the internet like people do? Or, I'm hoping that with our honest conversations that we plan to have, that we can, have a positive spin on things.
Yeah, here to be a little bit mainstream, but also here to not let things get swept under the rug, Keep it interesting for all you guys out there.
Throwing the rug outside, dude. No, nothing to sweep under here.
There is no rug, dude. I got a
That's right.
vacuum cleaner in my hand.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the tour? Like, we've talked about the UNPC part, but can you talk about the tour a little bit more and just kind of explain that to everybody?
Yeah, the reason why the tour. So maybe one day we will have a tour, right? I think that we've talked about what is the future of something that's more in person, but for now, the tour really just means like give us a tour of the town, of the talk, of our history. So that's where we're gonna give a real tour of like dabbling in a lot of different topics, everything from how the Strawberry Festival may have started. I have no idea. I'm excited to learn that, all the way to like what are the current hot topics, tragedies maybe even that our town is dealing with today. And there's a lot of, I feel like between the election we all just went through or some of the recent crime activity, there's just been a lot of hot topics. And yeah, that's the reason of the tour. Like, let's dabble in a lot of everything, and again, just give a way for our community to feel like they have a platform to talk through things. So we would love guests as well. So if you're interested in topics or guests, like, reach out to us. Well, we have an email right now.
What?
We're working on a website. The email is hello@unpctour.com.
We love.
Awesome.
So now
awesome,
that we're
awesome.
finally here, guys, what is something you guys are most excited about now that we're finally launching the podcast?
Definitely getting this show on the road, baby. Let's go.
What? You don't want to sit and talk about it instead of be about it?
No, we're gonna do both.
Okay, I'm down.
Hey, that describes Plant
right?
City.
Hey.
Let's talk about it, be about it.
No, like, definitely just like, I think too, like, the whole goal, right, is like the more people know, the more people can get involved. So like for me, I'm new here. So it's fun because all of this is a learning process, like in all aspects of the whole thing, the podcast, the information, Plant City, the whole nine. So getting to learn all of it as we go along, but then also too, like, twofolded, like that's the more that I get to get involved. So the more you know, the more you get involved. And then like the more that people get involved, the more you can change, hopefully for the better, which we would love to see. And I think we'll dive into that later about like the growth of Plant City and like what that looks like or what people want it to look like. But yeah, that would definitely be my favorite part, and what I'm most excited about is, the potential absorption of information and getting to expand on that, hopefully for the better of the good. So I don't know, Cody, what are your takes on that?
I'll kind of go the opposite route, maybe a little arrogantly. I don't know. I like to learn, and I know a lot because I like to pay attention, like to listen to things. I like to find where the information comes from and kind of stay close to there. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but I'm a regular fixture at the city commission meetings, and just recently I've dragged a couple of you both with me. So that's where I get a lot of my information there. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not totally useful, but it's usually almost always factual. And I have all this information, and my friends will reach out to me. Anne's really good at like, hey, what do you know about this? Or tell me everything. And I love being able to do that. But in a way, I have this information, and I can use this platform as a way to educate my friends and all of the friends that we make along the way. I think I'm excited about that. Just to not just be an idiot on my Facebook account and just be real snarky and unproductive, really. But hopefully we can be fun and informational here, and you know get people more engaged, more involved, and more informed of like what's going on and how things work. 'Cause there's a lot of things that happen that I don't like. As I've kind of gotten to learn more things, I understand why they're happening or why they're not happening, and it doesn't change whether I like it or not. But at least I'm informed now, and hopefully there's a lot of I mean, I can pick examples off of Facebook groups all day long, but there's a lot of things that other people just aren't they're upset about, but they're not informed about, and they don't understand that sometimes it's out of our control or it's out of the city's control. There's things in the city limits that are still maintained by other organizations, like other municipalities, and people want to yell. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. People want to yell about Park Road, Park Road, Park Road. Well, it's maintained by the county and the state, and people want to yell at the mayor for it. It's like, oh, it's not the mayor's road. But I mean, I have that knowledge, and I want to be able to share that, examples like that with everybody. So we all have that knowledge, and we're all a little bit more educated on how things work, and we can be happier, more productive, and more engaged Plant Cityans. Um, I mean, that's like I said, it's kind of the opposite of what Kelsey said, and it probably sounds really arrogant coming out of my big stupid mouth. But that's my favorite thing right now.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's why I wanted to bring you all together, because I feel like there's all these different perspectives, and Cody, you are my go-to text for everything. I'm like wanting to know around town. Phil, you're my person that I lean on when I'm like, tell me more about, people, because everyone tells you everything. Everyone thinks you're their best friend, including me. But I feel like you are actually our Uncle Phil to my kids.
This is true. This is true. Yeah.
He's all of our Uncle Phil's.
I know. Phil, what are you excited about?
Oh yeah, so I was gonna say in my own, I'm excited to just see it all come together. I think, as I stated before, this is all new to me. It's new to all of us, but between figuring out like, all the tech stuff that we've gone through and all the problems, and then like collaborating schedules and actually like finally getting to that point where we're actually going to be able to like show a product for it, I think is the most excited thing. I know it sounds so boring, but I'm also just excited to see where it goes and where it continues to grow, and to be that link between people and Plant City.
Well, it's a good call out, because just so everyone knows, none of us have ever recorded a podcast before. So, and our schedules are not aligned. So we are doing this usually at like 11 o'clock at night. Yes. So that's, we're literally like recording virtually from our houses at all nights of the hour, trying to bring this content to you. So, which kind of is a good segue. Like, let's talk more about illustrating our NPC-ness. So I have a question for you guys. What is the one thing you feel like is very Plant City, but un-PC at the same time? So very Plant City, very un-PC.
Like, I feel like the Facebook page is like so wholesome and so like help your neighbor, but also like something goes awry and it's like, okay, let's talk about it. Like, let's talk shit about it. Let's gossip. Let's give the dirty tea. I just think it gets very unhinged. And it's like, okay, yes, I'm here for it. I want to read the comments, but also just unruthly. Ruthless. Yeah, there we go. But but I think it's still on point, like small town drama, like everybody come by my backyard chicken eggs, but then, oh my God, who parked here on a Saturday afternoon at 12 p.m. kind of thing, right? It just gets crazy. It gets wild. You never know what you're going to read on there.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of what you guys attended tonight. It's the Plant City politics.
Ooh.
It describes Plant City in a nutshell, but it also is the most un-PC thing about Plant City sometimes as well. So
it's a literal interpretation.
It's a catch 22.
And that's it. We end the podcast here.
I appreciate what those guys get do and what they go through, guys and ladies, but it can get it gets a little crazy, a little hectic out there.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with Phil on that, but I don't want to have the same answer. So I'm just gonna maybe be a little less popular with my answer and say that something that's very Plant City, but also very un-PC is the Florida Strawberry Festival. Everybody knows Plant City for the Florida Strawberry Festival, whether you're here or you're 100 miles away. And if you're here long enough, you grow to just really not love the Florida Strawberry Festival. The traffic, the noise, just people. Like, we're a growing city that's got an infrastructure that's not keeping up, and then we put a 500,000 people on top of that in 10 days. You might get a cool concert out of it. You might get to wait a half hour in line for a corn dog, but none of us are really asking for that. Like, it's a very cool Plant City tradition that kind of celebrates our history and our agricultural roots, in the most disconnected way possible, in my opinion.
So Cody, it's funny you say that because I actually have not been to the Strawberry Festival since I moved here, and I went every single year when I lived in Tampa. So that goes to show you're absolutely right.
I thought you were supposed to go this past year.
No,
Did you not go?
No, because it was
That's
on
right.
Sunday, and it was like
That's
I'm
right.
not dealing with the crowds.
That's
So
right,
You were
because I
talking
was there
about
the
it, you
day
weren't
you
mean
were gonna
about it.
go.
Yeah, I promised
Yeah.
JJ I'd take him, and then I was like, let's go to Family Fun Center in Lakeland instead. It's like a festival.
Oh my
That's so PC.
goodness.
There's not 80,000 people there today. It'll be much easier.
It was perfect. It was perfect. He's
Very
fine.
I got up.
NPC of you.
He loved
I
it.
got up on the Ferris wheel, the big one, and I'm like, "Where is Anne? I don't see her anywhere."
Couldn't
And you
find
were in Lakeland, dude.
Oh, the 250 one, the huge one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Anne, tell us more about you. Like, what are your specific background, specific goals? What do you got going on over there?
Well, just a little more about me. If I talk about my kids all the time, so I'm obsessed with my family. I'm married to an amazing guy named Lewis, and I got 2 kids. A daughter, she just graduated from Crest literally last weekend. And then my little guy's starting kindergarten, so he is a recent graduate of pre-K. So I spend as much time as possible with my kids and my husband, and I'm just obsessed with my little family. When I'm not with my family, I'm working. I do work a lot. I work in technology and data and marketing, which is sort of why I also wanted to start this podcast, because I buy a lot of media on podcasts, but I don't know how to create content for one. So I do love my job. I'm very privileged to be one of these people that have always had a great job that they've loved. I can't imagine not having and doing something, 8 to 10 hours a day that you don't absolutely love. So that's the only advice I tell my daughter all the time is just find something you love. And then we do a lot on the weekends. We go to Disney. We're a Disney family. I love downtown Plant City. I love my friends. I have 9 best friends. Actually, you'll probably meet them all eventually on this podcast. They're all dying to be on it. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Cody, you want to give everyone a little more background on you?
I won't share too much because it might be incriminating, but I will let everybody know that I mentioned earlier I've been in Plant City since the early to mid 90s. Grew up out in Durant. Listened to the football games on Friday nights. I was out that close to the school. Been in Plant City pretty much my whole life, minus the first 9 years. But I grew up in Durant, and now I live out in Antioch. Ann and I were practically neighbors. And I did live in town for a while, but my wife and I, we have a business in downtown. So that's kind of like my night and weekend job. I work on a farm during the day. I just like being outside. I'm an outside dude because I'm not sure why. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's probably a lot that we'll go into in other episodes. Like I said, I'm not going to incriminate myself today. But yeah, I really have a passion for Plant City and local history. And I got a house full of animals. I got 4 dogs. No, 4 cats, 2 dogs. I don't know. I can't keep track. They're just everywhere. But yeah, yeah. We yeah, we I do like me a hot dog or 10. Hence the hat. Yeah, I got hot dogs on the brain, which hardly works. But yeah, live a pretty busy life that keeps me active, keeps me mostly out of trouble, and that's probably why we have such trouble aligning our schedules because I just can't sit still. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about more later. But let's talk about Phil.
My turn? Oh boy. So yeah, as I said, I grew up in Plant City. Between Plant City and Riverview, ended up graduating from Riverview High School, moved away for a number of years, all the way out to the West Coast in my early 20s, moved back here almost 10 years ago now, and I've been working in downtown ever since. I got a little one on the way. I live in Plant City. I can actually vote in Plant City, unlike the other 3 people on this podcast. And oh, shots fired. Yeah, you guys are on PC. So yeah, you know, just doing my thing, working a lot between 2 of the businesses in downtown.
We love. So I'm definitely, I think, a little bit most of the outcasts. I'm originally from Texas. I've worked in Plant City for almost 2 years. I don't have a new one on the way, but I just received the greatest blessing. I have a new nephew, so that's been a lot of fun and definitely a new adventure. Also like coding, he's super outdoorsy. I am just outside of Plant City, but I'm on free acres. I have a horse, I have chickens, dogs, cats, yada yada. But yeah, so definitely a lot of fun there. A lot of upkeep outside of work, and taking care of property is always an adventure in itself. So that's a whole new vibe that I'm learning along the way.
I also think it's amazing how much you DIY. Like, you do house projects I would never attempt.
It is rough. We definitely learn along the way. I think the terminology DIY is underrated because the amount of hours of YouTube that I probably log to do a single project are crazy.
University of YouTube. The best.
Yes, we love her. It's fine.
And you
It
can
works
always
out.
get your hands on a random piece of equipment from somebody, it seems like. Excavators,
Oh,
backhoes,
yeah. I'm like,
tractors.
hey, best friend number 1, what does your husband have available this weekend?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. I don't need a husband. I need my best friends to have husbands.
There you
That's
go.
fine. And what is the most only in Plant City thing that's ever happened to you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think honestly, like, every day there's something new. And I'm like, this would only happen here. Perfect example. This afternoon, I went into Publix, or this evening really, and I was just leaving. I had literally like the 2 smallest bags in my hand, and this woman walks up to me and she's like, "Did you leave anything in the store?" Like, we're best friends. Like, I had never met this woman, never saw her, but it's just like those sweet hellos. You just don't experience that most other places. I think that the camaraderie of the city, the kind people, I think is what really makes it different. And it was what I fell in love with when I first moved here. I have so many stories though of like people helping people out. And, I think that that's what really makes Plant City, Plant City.
One, didn't you say that, like, we've talked prior, didn't you say that this is a lot like where you came from before, but like that's the deciding factor, that's the difference, or that made you want to stay here?
Well, it does remind me of Kissimmee years ago. So I'm from New York originally, which is totally opposite. But one of the things is your block very well, right? Like, we could still go to my grandparents' house where I grew up down the street, and the same people still live on that street in Queens. So, but when I moved to Kissimmee and I grew up there, it was very similar. It was like that small town feel, a lot of ag, a lot of, farming communities. And I mean, we had like FSA but a lot of that was also just lost over the years because, Disney came in, big developers came in, a lot of people from outside of the state moved in, and it just felt very different. So now in Kissimmee, you would never say hello to anyone, actually. Like I went back for my high school reunion, and it just, felt very different. And I will say the downtown is revitalizing a little bit in Kissimmee, but like when I was a kid, used to go to the playground, and I'll never forget it. The parks and recs didn't have restrooms, and my mom would actually walk us into a funeral home to use the restroom as like little kids, but it was like totally okay. They'd be like welcoming, like not weird at all. Like, but that would never happen today.
That is crazy,
It
actually.
would happen in Plant City. Everyone lets use their bathroom in downtown.
Well, and we went to the commissioners meeting tonight. We were talking about public bathrooms.
It was a topic that came up.
It
Love
was
that.
a topic.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Cody, what's your most only in Plant City?
Mine's kind of similar to Anne's, but also a little specific. I talked about how I went to school here, grew up here, lived out in the middle of nowhere, and really didn't know anybody, and was okay with that, just kind of do my own thing. Then I decided, hey, let's open a business that needs people to come to it in downtown Plant City, and just the support of people who didn't know me, like people that I had crossed paths with over decades, whatever, but we never really interacted, but who just showed up. Like we just hit our 5-year anniversary, and people keep showing up for us, and it's like this big local supports local. Like we know these are our neighbors, have become our friends. This is our local economy, and we take care of each other. And I'm sure it's out there in other small towns too. But it always feels like, when I used to travel, it's, who's an outsider, and you're supporting them less, if at all. We're here, there's been other businesses that have come and gone in downtown, and it's been people who aren't from here, but the community still shows up for them. Like they see that these people they care about, the community, to invest in it with their time and their money and their efforts. And the community is just there. Like the people they're super supportive. If you give to Plant City gives back tenfold.
100%. We love that. I think it's
Well,
a
now
highlight of a small town, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So where are you at with this?
Well, now that you guys stole the two best answers, we talk about
You're welcome.
we talk about all the growth that's here, but at the core of Plant City and like its core essence, it's still this small town where you still have. I'm just gonna play off what you guys, because like that's me too. Like anywhere I go, I know a lot of people. There's so much just support for business, and then even personal. Like everybody has become, everybody's really close with everybody. It seems like, or at least I guess I'm called everybody's friend. So there's always like, if I need something, oh, hey, I need somebody to sell my house, or I need somebody to do this, or hey, I need some muscle, like come help out. Like there's always that support and that backbone of Plant City that shows up, especially as far as like different charities and stuff in town. And it's a really cool thing to see, because I've been a part of things like that and charities and raising money and fundraising, but to see it in like my hometown where I work is pretty cool.
Like in real life?
In real life, yeah, not just like on a spreadsheet.
Oh, 100%. And I think too, like, again, like, not that we all haven't piggybacked off of each other, but like my favorite thing when I explain Plant City is like it's a Hallmark movie. With the romance, but like for me, not with the romance. I think my favorite like PC thing is like even connecting to Anne here with us tonight is just since day one being involved in people you meet in the day to day who have become more like family friends than just like regulars or people you've met or just like casual friends. Like you just, I think it's so easy to build real connections. So for me, I don't have any family that's local necessarily. So like my example for this would be like getting invited over for Easter or Thanksgiving and just open arms, like the more the merrier. Everybody come, bring whoever you want, like bring a side dish, like it's cool. And I think that's really special. Like I don't think you get that in a lot of towns where people are just wanting to invite you to their family events. So I think that was definitely my favorite part, or is my favorite part about Plant City, is everybody being so welcoming into things that are intimate and things that are personable. By far.
Well, and everyone's always welcome for Easter at our house. So.
We love it.
It was
love it.
awesome.
It was all just her warming us up for this podcast. It was her evil plan.
She's like, I'm going to feed them really good food and they can't say no.
Right.
Yeah. Starts off with the prime rib straight out of the gate.
And the Easter egg hunt with the dollar bills, not the
The
quarters.
expensive wine. She's like, yeah, we'll share it. We'll share it. It's fine.
What was the very first thing about Plant City that made you say, okay, this place is different?
It was the first time I walked into Roots, actually, and I met Phil. Because he was so just nice, and I just never experienced someone so nice. And I was like, that guy is going to be my best friend.
I must have been well
1 of
caffeinated
10.
that day.
1 of 10.
He got a very different experience on our first time with Phil.
I know. I hear that he's not so nice to everybody, but I was like that was my first impression. We actually like came to town. We were under contract on our house. We had an open house selling our house, and we were like, we have no place to go. We had to like drag everybody out of the house. Let's go to downtown Plant City. And I walked in, met Phil, and I was like, oh, we're having open houses every weekend until this house is sold. I mean, right here.
He must have had a full 9.5 hours of sleep after 10 a.m.
I was definitely very well caffeinated, and for the longest time, she thought that I cleaned the glasses on some dirty bristle thing in the corner of the bar. That it did, that it was an all-in-one, and that I didn't have a dishwasher. And she still came back.
I
That's how good the
He said,
experience
I ain't
was.
scared.
Dirty dishes and all. This is the best place in town.
That's
know.
right.
That's why
I
my
mean,
family
dirty dishes and all probably still was, but it's fine.
I must have been well caffeinated. Yeah, for sure.
So Phil, tell us, is there anywhere around town you haven't been?
That I haven't been?
Yeah.
Oh,
or have you been
goodness.
to every inch of the town?
I can't say I've been to every place in town because honestly, being friends with Cody, I'm learning more and more about the city as well, and like the little niche places, like businesses like mom and pop joints. There's no, I don't think there's one that I haven't been to, or maybe just a few. But yeah, I'm still learning different things, different parks, different things to do. You know, now that I, like I mentioned earlier, have a little one on the way, learning different things for kids to do and some of the things that we offer in town for that. And so it's a good amount, but not full 100%.
Phil, this question was a trap, and you made it through it. Because
It's a
if you
trap.
admitted to going everywhere, we're going to ask the last time you were at Showgirls.
And then
5
you'd
months
be in
ago.
timeout.
5 months.
Oh,
Cody, speaking of traps, how do you bridge the gap between old and new without losing the character of the town?
oh man, you just kick all the new people out. Sorry guys, you're out. That's how we fix
No,
it. No, that's not how
that
we do
ain't
it. No.
it.
Application denied.
Yeah.
Rejected.
I think, I mean, as much as we all can complain about the city and how things are going and growth not going the way people wanted to, I think we're actually doing a pretty good job bridging the gap now. Our downtown historic district, the 2 residential neighborhoods, and the business district are kind of our anchor for our history. Like we have all these, 100-plus-year-old homes and businesses down there, and a lot of our growth is happening outward from there. So we have the new people coming to town who might live in the historic district or might live in a new build in one of the new neighborhoods. You kind of have, I wouldn't say the best of both worlds because we're still growing into that, but I think that the gap between old and new is geographically, even though we're not a widespread city, I think it's really separate enough to where, if you want a home in Plant City and you want that kind of small town neighborhood and a home with a, kind of a unique character, you have that option to buy in the historic district. Or if you're looking something that's more new build, more modern, more efficient, and close to, the big national brands, there's, 1,000 apartments on the south side of town that just popped up. Or there's, growth coming to the north side of town where there's homes and then the businesses will follow. I think that the gap that we have in Plant City is probably not that big, honestly. I mean, you still need to build a small bridge. And as we have more people crossing that bridge, we'll kind of fine tune it. But I think that we're doing a pretty good job now with the old and the new kind of coexisting. I mean, there might be residents who aren't happy about all the new residents, because, they're not sixth generation Plant City. But you know what? I'm sure these old houses aren't mad about new houses being built. So let's just be more like a house, I guess. That's how we'll bridge it.
We love it.
I've never heard a sentence ended with structures and then another structure.
Yeah.
Just structure on top of it.
I'm a
It's
real
fine.
accidental wordsmith, dude.
I like it. I love it. So, as you guys may have heard throughout this podcast today, we do plan on doing seasons. So we're going to start with 12 episodes, season 1. We're going to have interviews. We have some really exciting guests coming up within the next couple weeks. But like anything else too, we're going to stay up on current Plant City events, any drama, anything going on that maybe is PC or un-PC of PC. So, and that will kind of dictate how the direction in which we're going to go for each episode. And I know Anne has some things to go over as far as what topics we're going to be covering this season.
Yeah. Well, we want people to send in topics you're interested in too. Some of the ideas we have are really going deep into downtown history, a topic covering some of the roots of where, the Strawberry Festival started, because I personally, like I said earlier, am wanting to know. We've talked about gossip. There seems to be a new topic of conversation every single week, but we're going to bring that to life with a really interesting segment. Phil, do you want to tell everyone what it's called?
The most un-PC post of the week.
And we're going to pick 1 or 2 Facebook posts and just talk about it. So that'll be fun. And then we're also going to cover some interviews. There's some really interesting folks that we all know around town, and we want to give them a platform too. So, more special guests to come.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to have the people that we have planned come on. And then we have some episodes planned out, obviously. Kelsey, what episodes are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, I definitely love the post of the week. I think that will be so much fun. Also very un-PC. I think my favorite one, though, coming from the service industry, I think nightlife and bar culture. We do downtown after dark. Wink, wink. And the interviews that go along with that, I think will be a lot of fun. And hopefully with future tours, that will lead into each other.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a fun episode. I think I'm looking forward to episode 3 coming up with one of our first guests on the podcast. So with that being said,
You want to wrap
Can I
this
jump
up?
in?
yeah, go for it, Cody.
I just want to talk a little bit more about this un-PC post of the week. Because
He said, give me the
Keyboard
walk.
warrior Cody over there.
I'm just an idiot on the internet, dude. I don't claim to be a warrior. I got a hot dog on my forehead right now. How serious do you think what kind of battle am I going into? Battle of
With
the
the
ketchup, dude? Come
mustard.
on. Yeah. But like this un-PC post of the week, I think is going to be a ton of fun. Because we talked earlier about some of the just the wild, unhinged stuff that happens in town, whether it's tragedy or just drama. But like, dude, these Facebook groups, okay, the ones I'm allowed in, that's a different story for another time. But yeah, these Facebook groups have some of just the craziest stuff. It's funny because Kelsey mentioned earlier about, people selling backyard, their eggs from their backyard chickens. And then like 2 days later, you get somebody commenting, who has all these chickens in the neighborhood? And it's like, bro, go meet your neighbors or read these things. They'll just get on the internet and blindly complain about things. But you see some of the craziest photos of just people, people posting about their neighbor parking in front of their house, or that's my parking spot, or just the wildest stuff. I can't wait. It's probably very NPC of us just to point all this out and make fun of our fellow Plant Cityans, but I'm here for it.
There was one the other
I'm
day
here
of two
for it.
horses that were walking in the middle of the road that had gotten out.
I will bring my trailer.
Yeah, I figure. Yeah, horse rescuer 101 over there.
That's called kidnapping
Yeehaw,
or horse
brother.
napping.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. We are so excited to bring you a new episode next week. So stay tuned for more. And this is just a taste of what we're going to bring you this season. But if you're looking for polished, you're looking for the Chamber of Commerce approved version of Plant City, this is not it for you. But if you want to have some real conversations, some un-PC conversations with this crew, we are so excited that you'll be joining us every week.
For those of you that are listening, there's a lot of unspoken rules in Plant City that we may or may not be breaking. But if there is one that you want us to break, just give us an email at hello@unpctour.com.
Woohoo! Well, thanks for riding along with us. We'll see you on the next stop of the UNPC Tour.
Sounds
See you
good. See you
guys.
guys next week.
Bye.